All right, everyone, welcome back to the Rhonda Swan Show. All right, so I have been bringing on some of the most epic entrepreneurs and talking about their story. Like, what did it take for them to get where they are today? And this last series has just been super powerful because, we have been learning about, like some of the hardest times that people went through to finding themselves into a successful state. And the journey is not always the same. And so today, my guest, I am super pumped because I not only love what she does, but she's also from the Motor City. She's a Detroit girl just like me. And I just love this woman. Her name is Ebony Swank. Now, Ebony is also the CEO and founder of Posh, which was originated in 2009. It's a clothing boutique that would revolutionize the fast fashion industry to sell products that women were guaranteed to love and use time and time again. Now, Ebony created a global e-commerce store. It expanded her reach through social media, and in a very short time has grown into a multi-million-dollar business. She has positioned herself as a true success story and is an inspiration for up-and-coming entrepreneurs. Ebony, welcome to the show.
Hello, how are you?
I'm so good. Oh, it's so good. First off, I need you to know, we're going to talk about, Swank and Posh. And anyone right now, you have to go onto their Instagram. I am loving what goes on there. First off, the women that are showing up, like it is pure authenticity. And I love that about your brand. Like you have created clothing that makes women feel so sexy in whatever curves that they showcase, whatever curves they've got. And they're just so authentically doing it. I just love it,
Yeah.
Ebony.
Yes. That kind of came as I sit there and I try to figure out everything, and it's how you try different things and they don't work. And then when I start being organic or authentic is when it was like, okay, this is it. You know what I mean? So we're really excited that we continue to bring that because so many women they don't get the real thing.
Right. I mean, come on. I'm sorry. I'm going to be 49 next month. I am not that little teeny waist. I got some junk in my trunk and I do the exact same wiggle up to get my pants on, but none of the little skinny models that we see all the time. They don't do that. I'm like, I can't wear that. And I love it. So will you tell me a bit about like how Swank and Posh came, about? Like really what is your deeper Ebony Swank kind of story?
The deeper, and I really talked about this in a book, was I invested about 50 to 60,000, something like that, and I had quit my job as a financial analyst. And I just stepped out there. Long story short, I just stepped out there and I lost everything. And it didn't work. I was working to pay the rent, and it just didn't work. And then I found out I was pregnant and was in a bad relationship at the time. So, but I just knew that I didn't want to go back and work for anyone else. You know what I mean? So after I had Bailey, she was born with some complications. She definitely had her intestines were twisted and we didn't know she was going to make it. And, so I'm dealing with that all along. All I had left was about $12,000. And, as much as you think about your child, because she comes first, as you're the leader of your family, because at this time the relationship was done, you have to figure something out. So after Bailey became well, and thank God she's 12 years old this past Saturday. And yes.
Wait, hold on. Did you just say your daughter is 12 years old this past Saturday?
Yes.
Is it April 17th, her birthday?
No, April 23rd.
Okay, sorry, 2 weeks. My daughter's is April 17th. And I'm like, wait, I'm from Detroit. I lost everything and left. I'm not joking. 14 years ago, $12,762.82 left to my name. And you just said you had $12,000.
Really?
I'm not joking.
Wow.
All right, we're gonna hug it out when I really see it. Keep going with your story.
Your daughter is an Aries and so am I.
Right? Yeah.
So good. Yeah. And I see her entrepreneur spirit as well. So trust me, I know where she gets it from you, of course, but it's in the Aries girl as well.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So my mom came and she definitely helped me out. She had to. I had to have some type of support to be able to grow these stores because I'm like, I have $12,000. I literally threw the money at the wall and hoped that it stuck. And that's basically what happened. And it did because you know what? By my back being against the wall, I worked my tail off. Like I didn't stop. Like from sun up to sundown, and my mom was taking care of my kids because I have another child. They're 13 years apart, so I'm dealing with her. She's frustrated because here comes this new business and this new baby, and all the time it's just being me and mom, which I'm still dealing with today. But just to say that when you don't have anything and your back gets up against the wall, you don't have a choice. So I paid my mortgage and I just prayed that everything worked, and it did. It really did. And without my mom, that, you know, support that I had, I wouldn't have been able to do it because again, I was working sun up to sundown. So she had to raise my kids essentially.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So you had already been making the clothing though. Like you had already had it going, but you invested a lot and it just didn't come forward. Like what was the shift? Like what happened at that time?
The shift was I was in the wrong area. When I had the clothes and I had the store, no one was buying the clothes. Like I wasn't with the market where I needed to be.
Right.
I was right outside of Nordstrom. My rent was really, really expensive. I was more excited about the planning of the store rather than the planning of the business. Okay. Right. Yep. So just to be quite frank there and very transparent. So I had to close. And then once I closed, of course, I had the baby and that type of thing. But I found a new store and I was very strategic as to where I would be this time. And I really focused on the customer. But we're from the city, and back then the city wasn't in a really good spot at the time. So I had to get somewhere that was what I call safe, but still easily accessible to my customer. And the thing about my customer, I knew so much about her that I studied so much about her that I knew that it had to be easily accessible right off the expressway at a light, easy to turn into the parking lot because I didn't go into a mall. I went into a strip mall, so I couldn't depend on walking traffic. And then I got on Facebook and I did some manipulations and I made sure that we stood out. Number one, the name and the different marketing that I was doing. Back then, the marketing I always knew that I needed to be different. I couldn't blend in. And those people were coming in there like crazy. And that's where the success started. But that's not where the multi-million-dollar thing started. I think at that point, the first year, I probably closed with about $600,000 or $700,000. And it continued to climb over the years. But when I did online, that was the thing. That was what really hit the nail on the head.
So tell me when was the e-commerce store started? Because this is really brilliant. Like you went from having not only a physical store and then finding a bit of the niche market, but then you turned it on digitally, which then gave you so much more reach. You weren't worrying about necessarily who was walking by. Now you're able to find the mass market. So how did that come about? When was that time frame?
Well, let me just back up just a bit. It's a part that I missed. When the stores were doing so well and I was doing my marketing on Facebook, and again, I was doing a lot of manipulations. I had girls coming from both sides of the town. Wow. And I was like, well, why don't I put another store on the other side? So I think a year later, I'm going to say like 2010, 11, I put a store on the east side of Detroit. Again, it was close. I used the same strategic process, the same strategic plan that I had used for the Southfield store. So made sure that store was going crazy. So when people say that they want to open up a second store, oh my God, girl, that is like that. It was not the worst thing, but it's the hardest thing ever because of, you have you have two different customers. You have to have enough product. So I was really, really struggling, but I was really making the money, but I was learning. And that was a great thing. It was teaching me so much. Yeah. So then after that, 2012 is when I said, I'm going online. And I started online, and it didn't do so good when you first started. But of course, everything that I've learned, whether like I tell, like I have my cousin here. I moved her from here from Houston, and she just want to instantly jump into the big seat. And I tell her that she's running the stores for me. My biggest thing I tell her is, it's been 2 years now. The stores built me. Get as much information and learn as much as you can from the stores, and then it will be easily to transform into a higher position here. But you have to get everything from the stores, because the customers teaches you everything. You just have to listen to them. So as I'm online, and I'm failing online, but I won't give up. And a guy had reached out to me probably in, I'm going to say 2018, 2019. And he offered me $1 million for 50% of my company. And I'm like, I'm not taking $1 million for, you know. And then from my world, you hear about a lot of people taking really bad record deals. So I just told him, I'm not going to sign a bad record deal, is what I told him. And you know, from that, I said, I had a talk with myself and God, and I said, he must see something in me that I'm not seeing in myself. So I invested more, and then it just seemed like everything has just been continuously on the uproar. So even during, so then COVID happened, and we grew more. And then even after, you know, COVID is here, but people are starting to be back to normal, but we're still growing. I think we're at an additional 40% of growth just this year alone. So, you know, it's just me continuously learning, and everything that I learn, I keep trying over and over again. And when being authentic was really what put us through the roof.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because this, I mean, I love this story. You know, it shows pure resilience, especially being a woman in business. I know it was not the easiest, right? Because here we are navigating, you know, building our business, but you know, you've got others around, and I know that's not always easy. I've dealt with it myself, but it's that resilience that kept you going. And what I love the most, Ebony, is how in tune you are to the marketing side. Like, I want really everyone to hear that, because like, it's not just the story, it's the knowledge that you've gained. And understand, you keep saying this over and over, I just knew my girl. I knew her. And I think that's something that so many even bypass or they miss, right? Especially they're just trying to sell stuff and they forget, like, I really need to know this customer. Can we talk about your customer and like dig into that? Because then I want to go into this online, because the same customer that was walking by, is she still the same online woman? Like, how did you navigate that? But I want to know who this woman is, because I love these women. I love them so much. It's so great to see the purest of authenticity and how much they love your brand. That's why I know it's growing too.
Well, let me just explain to this one. Yes, they shift, and then they get older, and then sometimes they don't come back. And sometimes they don't come back for confidence. But I've been getting them back recently with this new shapewear that I've been I'm doing.
I already know about it.
I'm like, right. So in my community, BBL, which is Brazilian butt lift, and liposuction is a really big thing. Everyone wants their waist small, and everybody can't afford to get their waist done, but a lot, you'll be surprised. Some of them are like, they're really doing this. And I'm a thing for, if you feel like you want to change something about yourself, we've been saying, it's my body and I do what the F I want, because it's my body and I do whatever I want. So we've been getting some pushback, but we got pushback when girls were trying on jeans. So on camera, so my team was getting all afraid, and they're like, well, they're saying this and they're saying that. And I'm like, let them talk. Negativity is okay. They're going to push us to the top. Yep. We have to keep shifting. So I did a full documentary of, I sent someone, I paid for someone's surgery. Well, that isn't the first surgery that I paid for, but I sent, because I have to invest into my models and everything, you know, and that's not anything that people will really admit, but if it's something that they want done and it makes you stand up, you know, and fix your posture, then it's just something that we do. Well, anyway, I paid for someone to have the surgery, and I did a full documentary. And the way we did that is not to say you need to change your body. This is what girls are doing, and I need the I need people talking about it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we did a full documentary, and we got some pushback, but it's okay because we're getting the engagement that we actually need. And the girl that got it, she's really, really happy. But that also took us into selling the fajas, or the shapewear is what people call it. So we bring in the good bra, because so many of my girls, out of 10 of them, 9 of them don't know what type of bra to buy. So I got them that. So we've been really killing it in the shapewear area as well. So, you know, continue to shift and know what's happening with my girl. That's what keeps the brand alive. I can't stand still. So even if I don't want to watch a reality show that I have to sit there and watch, I'm going to watch it because I need to be able to know what my customers are doing. I'll go to concerts that have nothing to do with me or my husband, but I'll go to them because I need to see what the girl is doing. Because if I have 10 girls doing the same thing, that's going to teach me something about my entire audience.
Wow. I mean, this is like really granular, you know, and I think people miss this stuff, you know, so you really know what's happening. And I love how you follow the timeline of like where your woman is at, right? She might come back, you know, she might move around, but it's about staying in front of it. And that's something I think that so many business owners, they get stagnant, right? They get kind of stuck. This is what I do. Yes. And they get stuck. So when did the switch over take place in online? Because I think this is like that was your big kick, wasn't it?
Yes. Well, that was the big kick. That was in 2019. I want to say August of 2019. I received a phone call for the $1 million in June. And in 2019 of August, I did something different, and I went through the roof, but strategically, and it didn't overnight, but I want to say, like, if I was making 150,000 in sales in July, then in August, that went to 500. And then I kept pushing it up. And of course, that takes more money to be able to put into ads and to product. And you have to make sure that you have the product to sell. I see so many people, they want to grow, but they don't learn how to balance the cash along with the inventory. You can't push ads if you don't have the inventory in stock. You know what I mean? So our biggest thing over here, we're never to be sold out of anything. And if I am, I'm really disgusted, and I'm trying to definitely get it back, because you do so much work to sell the product. I don't want it to be one and done. I need to keep selling this to sell it to more girls, because there's so many people that's out there.
All right, so let me ask you, I love this. Obviously, you know, Kim Kardashian's got her shapewear. Like, where does Swank and Posh stand in this, you know, in that market?
Well, I definitely want a part of that market share. Yep. I definitely study everything that Kim Kardashian does. I study Spanx. I study, you know, Sarah. Yep. I study all of these particulars. I even go on shopping trips, and I might buy something that's really, really expensive just to help inspire me by the fabric, by the shape, by everything. Like, I really have a fun job. It gets a little, it gets very hectic a lot. But the thing is, ever since I was a kid, I've loved clothes, and I didn't realize that until about a year ago. I was talking to my husband, like, I've always loved clothes. So it's just like anything regarding to a garment, I just love it. Like your dress, I've already dissected the entire dress. I love it. I swear to God. I'm telling you, I love how you cinch your waist in. I love the color, how it matches your background along with the book and the flowers. Trust me, it's just a thing that's in me.
All right, I got the Ebony Swank thumbs up, so this is a good thing. All right, we have to talk then. So we come back, because I know I'm going to see you in Las Vegas, because we do need to talk about this book. Ebony is one of the authors in the upcoming Wealth edition of Women Gone Wild. So we're on the Wild. We did the first one. Now we're on the Wild series, which is W is for Wealth, Intuition, Leadership, and Diversity. And Ebony is writing a chapter in the Wealth book. And are you going to go into this chapter then, like, deeply about your story and how the things that you've done that we're just chatting about?
Now, each time I read the chapter, I cry.
Oh my gosh,
I really
Mama.
do. It was really deep. I didn't want to give too much of it away. I can't wait till you read it. But it was really deep for me.
Well, I'm excited for it, because all of them are coming in, and we're going through all the finals. And I have heard from our publisher that that you are like, Ebony's chapter needs to be out the front. He's like, Ebony's chapter needs to be at the front because you really go into some of the details that most don't, and how you've gotten to where you are today.
And that was really important for me.
Yeah.
That I really gave you the part of the story that meant the most to me.
Yeah.
And the heartfelt thing. And as Bailey's birthday is April 23rd, it was something that's in the book regarding April 22nd that changed my life.
Oh, you just gave me goosebumps. Well, we are going to see each other because we have a book tour. I'm pretty excited about that. The two Detroit girls get to come together, and I'm going to be ordering myself some shapewear, some Swank and Posh before I get there, because we got to show off everyone's wares. And I know that, coming together, especially for this book launch, is a big thing for women. It's like us coming together and collaborating. But can I ask too, like, what does actually wealth really mean to you? Because I think this is because in the book, we're working on redefining wealth, like what it really means to us. And what does that mean to you, Ebony?
I don't know if this sounds cliche, but I just need to be in a place where I could just do whatever I want, whenever I want. And then my family is in a really good position, because to me, I would be nothing. Ebony Swank means nothing if my family and my close friends aren't climbing the ladder with me. You know what I mean? So that's really what matters to me. And then, like I tell my oldest daughter that she's 25 now, you have to be able to live through this when I'm not here. You have to be able to handle all of this, and not necessarily the business. It has to be, you have to know how to manage cash and control cash and make cash work for you. So that's my biggest thing.
Well, it's such good advice too. I mean, especially with our girls, I have the same with Neleke being 15, teaching her early to start her own company, and that, she can do it herself. And it's us as, I can feel it when you speak like this. I can feel like your girls are everything to you, and so is my daughter. And it's, how can we be better examples to the younger generation of young girls in the world? And it's like they inspire me every day. My daughter inspires me, and because they're so honest.
Yes.
Who do you look at though, Ebony? Like, who really inspires you? Like, what do you look for inspiration?
I have to say that I read a lot of books from 50 Cent and Jay-Z. And the reason why I go back to 50 Cent is because he talks a lot about his failures and how he's learned from them, and how you shouldn't, you need to pick up from him and learn from him and keep going, and not let it, make you just be content or just get down on yourself. Or so just basically, in what he's done with stars and these, how he has shifted from using his rap career to be able to take him to another level with the finance and with the wealth that he's received from that, using that as a stepping stone and not staying there. That's the part that I definitely
50th Law is one of my favorites. It's one of my favorite books ever. I mean, my daughter's read it. I've read it like 3 or 4 times. Yeah, because it's the real story, and it's the grit.
Yeah.
It's going back and, doing the stuff that you didn't want to do just to get to where you want to be. And it's just, it's the resilience. So
coming from where it comes from, just and where you end up.
Yeah.
And then you may lose some friends, and family may not like you, but you have to keep going. There's nothing you can do. We can't, you can't allow someone else's failures to hinder you. So you just got to keep going.
Yeah. It's one thing we always say to our daughter and myself. It's like, someone else's opinion is none of our business. It's like, everyone's got an opinion. You just keep doing you, make sure you're a good person, you're doing the right thing, and that's all we ask. So what's the history, or like more so the future of Swank and Posh now? Like, where do you see you're all going in the next 5 years, let's even say?
I don't know. It's kind of confidential right now where we're going.
Ooh, we got it on camera.
But there are definitely a lot of plans to the continued growth, and maybe there'll be an exit for me, something that I never thought about doing. So,
oh, see, now that is fun. I love that.
Because as I read these books from these these people, like, they use things as stepping stones to go off and do something else that would be much bigger and grander, because again, what is wealth? I just always need to be in a point where I could do whatever I want to do.
Yeah, and if we're not growing, we're dying, like complacency is probably one of the biggest human failures, right? We get stuck and we just shrivel up. So I'm really excited for you. I'm so, inspired by Swank Posh, like what you've done, like how you take stands for women, how you help them show up for their purest authenticity. I'm like, Ebony, Detroit girls, we got it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I cannot wait to meet you in June for the book launch. Make sure that when we launch it, you get this book because Ebony's story's in there. And then we're going to be seeing you in Las Vegas. We're going to be seeing you maybe in New York City on a big old billboard on New York Times Square.
Yeah.
Like, we're going for it. People are like, I think you're going crazy. I'm like, yeah. I just got to keep asking for something bigger and something bigger. Yeah. And you know what? It just keeps showing up. So,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Why not go for it?
You can't stay still.
That's right. And if it falls on the floor, that's okay too. We'll throw something back up.
You are right about that. That you're right about.
Right? I love you, sister. I can't wait to see you. Thank you so much for being here tonight. And stay posh, girl, because you got it. I love it.
Okay.
See you later, babe.
Thank you so much, Rhonda. See ya.
I love it.
Bye-bye.
Woo! Well, that's Ebony Swank, everyone. What an inspirational story. Like, think about it. Think about yourself. Like, what are you doing when things get tough? Are you allowing what others say about you? Are you letting that ego or that fear get in the way that says, I just can't do this? Man, Ebony, she has stepped in. She had nothing left in her bank account, a brand new baby, but she had this vision and this passion to grow and to do something deeper. But man, she taught us a lot tonight about marketing. That woman knows everything about her client, everything about her customer. She knows exactly what they want. That's why she's got a multi-million-dollar company, monthly multi-million-dollar company. This woman is crushing it. She's someone to be inspired by and to follow, and she's one of the authors in our upcoming book. So make sure when we launch that you get your hands on it. So, and don't forget, everyone, we are taking applications for the next upcoming book. You have an opportunity to also be in the Women Gone Wild series. Intuition is next, and that launches next year in 2023. And I can't wait to help you be part of one of the greatest movements for women that has ever been launched, to be and show your wildness. All right, everyone. Well, I hope this episode served you well. Make sure share us down in comments. Let us know. Go on over to see Ebony and the Swank Posh Instagram channel because, man, these ladies are killing it. All right. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Don't forget to be unstoppable and stay wild.